It does.
in the valleys, the smoke and ash and all that, and then people that are left homeless have to go and try to relocate.
Yeah.
And fire creates its own storm, and these embers can go for miles.
Yeah, and this is what the people in San Bernardino found out back in 2003.
That was really a tragedy.
Yeah.
Well, we encourage you viewers to get a hold of your Senator Dianne Feinstein or Barbara Boxer, or contact Congressman David Dreyer and let them know that you're concerned about these
And you
bills.
can look these up on the internet and take a look at them.
I have them through my website, www.firebomberpublications.com.
I don't know, Richard, do you have his website that you could put up and for our viewers?
Yeah.
And then if you want to get a hold of Mr. Archer, you can, and I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you. And
Okay. How
steer you in
many
the right
planes
direction.
do we actually have that are down?
Typical fire year, we would have 4 dozen heavy air tankers. These are the big 4-engine aircraft.
Those aren't the super scoopers, though.
These are in addition to the super scoopers. We would have 4 dozen of those nationwide. This year we have 1 dozen nationwide. And the governor of Nevada has already called for a disaster area for fires they've had up there. Arizona is still reeling from the fires they had up around Sedona. And imagine what would happen if we had, say, a dozen different areas that were all having fires at one time. That'd be 1 heavy air tanker per fire, if you were lucky.
And then we have to rely on helicopters that don't have near the capacity.
Or the range. Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah.
well, let's just pray that we don't have any fires
Well, what else
with
can
this
you tell?
disaster. You know, you just don't know.
What else can you tell us that is important for people to know?
There is hope because, of course, these bills would help with the current air tanker fleet. There are also 2 new air tankers which are being run through the qualification process right now. A DC-10 supertanker, which is basically a jet airliner that's been converted into an air tanker, drops 12,000 gallons of water in one drop. That's 4 times what you can drop with the current heavy air tankers. And an even bigger 747, which has been modified to be another type of a supertanker. This one drops 20,000 gallons of water or retardant in a drop.
Okay, they feel that they're safer than the ones they've grounded? Is that how I'm supposed to read that?
Yeah, basically what they're saying is these are newer aircraft. They are still about 20 years old, but they're not really old like some of the current air tankers are. They are jet aircraft, which means that they can travel at high speeds to get from an airport which can handle them out to the fire. So they figure they would have to have probably about 5 of these planes around the country, and that would be enough to be within an hour's flight time of any of the fire spots. And they're also piloted by professional crews. For instance, the 747 pilot is a former Air Force One pilot. And people I've talked to who have seen him operate say that he can handle that plane like a barnstormer going around. He stopped short on an airstrip. He had a real long airstrip to land on. He had the engines on full reverse before he even touched down, and they said he stopped way short of where he should have because he knows how to handle the aircraft.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of got the feeling that those super scoopers and others were prop planes.
Yes.
Can you maneuver a jet as easily as you can a propeller plane?
Not as easily if you've got a huge aircraft like that to go through a canyon or something, but if the fire is up on a hilltop, for instance, Johnson Peak up here that has all the repeater stations on it, was under siege in the 2002 fires we had. And as the fire got up close to the top, a P-3 Orion came in and dusted the whole top of the ridge and snuffed out everything that was coming up there. So imagine if that was 3,000 gallons, what 20,000 gallons could do to that.
Okay, I guess it's just the technique.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hit them when they're at the
Guys,
top.
they have to know how to fly.
We really need to pay attention, it sounds like.
It's the Aerial Firefighter Relief Act 2005 and the Air Tanker Emergency Release Act of 2004. And these are very important. We've got to get people
And
aware
stop
of
by
this.
and talk to Mike when you go to the street fair.
If it's cool, he'll be there.
Well, 107-degree weather, I guess, bothers some people.
my
I
goodness.
just about died today. But we have some serious conditions coming up in our hillside areas. It seems to me, at least from my perspective, we had a lot of cloudy, rainy May weather, so we probably have some pretty heavy brush up there.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
And
It'd be interesting to see what our oak woodlands looks like right now, too.
yeah, we'll have to go out.
We did an oak tree planting last year.
Yeah.
And we went up once to see if they were growing, and they are. And it's just going to be a forest of oak trees.
Okay, folks, don't forget our Glendora Perspective TV special tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. about the country club swap. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Good factual information, maps, numbers. Please tune in. Don't forget to email me or call me if you were approached by NJD and the signature gatherers and they misrepresented the initiative to you. Email is on the screen, lmshade103@aol.com, or you can call me 626-963-3895. It's important to have that information. Next week, we have Joe Santoro, who will be with us, who is leading the fight to prevent this country club swap from going through. That is 338 homes on the golf course and the golf course up in the hillsides.
And NJD is advertising quite a lot on
you saw that.
television. I finally saw it on Channel 45.
With Mr. Stout.
I thought I would see it on our 99 or maybe even on Channel 3, but 45. I don't know what other stations are advertising.
I don't either. I haven't been able to catch it. And you may want to catch the next council meeting, because I understand Jack Stoughton, our community service rep, who's also on that flyer, who owns Stoughton Printing, may have his job as community service the Parks and Rec Commission. He may be at risk. You may want to tune in.
Right. I'm kind of disappointed in him.
Well, apparently the council is too, which is why his job is at risk.
But we're told to say no. Don't be misled by these false ads. NJD has very deep pockets, and they're going to take all of it if they have to.
They're going to
try to
spend
get
money.
this country club thing through, and it's just a tragedy.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Well, I didn't say that yet.
No.
Please spay and neuter your pets and make sure that they have fresh water in this heat and keep them cool. They're
Keep them indoors if you can.
I'm so proud of you, Lois. You're an
Thank you.
animal lover tonight. And I would like to ask for special prayers for my daughter. She's facing a very serious surgery next Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning. And prayer, I believe in prayer and God, and I just pray that God will guide the surgeon to heal my daughter. And we thank you, Mr. Archer, for being with us. And if anyone is interested in your books and didn't get your website, they can contact us through this show, and we'll direct them to you to purchase these wonderful books.
Or they can watch our show tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. and get it from the screen
Of course
again.
they can.
How about that?
Yeah,
if things change, please come back and let us know.
I will.
If these bills are successful, and we will,
Yes, we will.
make
We'd love to
sure
have you
Mr.
come back,
Dreyer
and we
knows
just
about
pray there are
this
no
also.
fires.
Yes.
And we thank you so much for being with us this evening. I think we're about ready to go into closed session, Lois.
And our hats. We're going
Yes,
to wear our
thank you
hats
so
in the
much.
closed session.
So I'll say God bless, and we'll see you next week.